What's good, chemists? My name is Sartaj Kaler, and today I'm going to be teaching y'all about limiting reactants. Let's get it. Let's go ahead and take a look at our problem. Methane and chlorine gas react together and produce carbon tetrachloride and hydrogen chloride. How many grams of hydrogen chloride are produced when 4.20 grams and 6.96 grams of chlorine gas react? So the first thing we need to do is balance our chemical equation. In our reactants, we have gaseous CH4 and gaseous Cl2, which react and produce liquid CCl4 and gaseous HCl. Thankfully, this is a pretty easy question to balance. We put a coefficient of 4 in front of Cl2 and coefficient of 4 in front of HCl. And now, we have a perfectly balanced chemical equation. Before we dive into any sort of calculation, we need to first understand the basic steps necessary in a limiting reactant problem. We start by taking our grams of a given reactant and dividing by its molar mass. This gives us the number of moles of that chosen reactant in the problem. From here, we do a simple mole ratio between our chosen reactant and the chosen product. Then, we multiply by the molar mass of the product in order to go from moles to grams. This leaves us with the amount of product produced using our given reactant in grams. Now that we understand the basic steps necessary for a limiting reactant problem, we can actually begin to plug in numbers. We start by taking our given value of 4.20 grams of methane and dividing by its molar mass, which we can calculate using a periodic table. From here, we do our mole ratio. In this case, 4 moles of HCl are produced per 1 mole of CH4. Then, we multiply by the molar mass of HCl and we are left with the amount of hydrogen chloride produced in grams. But wait, we are not done yet. Remember, good chemists use sig figs. For this problem, our initial value of 4.20 is the smallest non-constant value and thus tells us to round our answer to 3 sig figs, which gives us a value of 38.2 grams of HCl produced when we use 4.20 grams of methane. Now, we're going to do the same thing except this time for Cl2. So, we start by taking our given value of 6.96 grams of Cl2 and dividing by its molar mass. From here, we do our mole ratio, which in this case would be 4 moles of HCl are produced per 4 moles of Cl2 in our reaction. After that, we multiply by the molar mass of HCl and we are left with the amount of hydrogen chloride produced in grams. Once more though, we gotta look out for sig figs. Our initial value of 6.96 is our smallest non-constant value and thus tells us to round to 3 sig figs, which in the end gives us a value of 3.58 grams of HCl produced when we use 6.96 grams of chlorine gas. This means that Cl2 is our limiting reactant since 3.58 is less than 38.2 and only 3.58 grams of HCl are produced in this reaction.